Here's the situation, dude. Spectator Drags. All these guys are showing up on tires now, and they destroy me in the turn. So I said, no problem. I'll get myself a set of tires. And we've got the Spectator Drag World Championship coming up December 16th, and I know because it's $15,000 to win, all these Spectator Drag cars are crazy now. The guy in the freaking Evo can just drive around me, so no more of that. We got Hoosiers now.
Is that a call? Is that a call out?
Evo guy is done.
Done, dude. Huh?
On today's episode of How to Beat a Porsche 911 Turbo S.
Can you pronounce it? Mitsubishi. Mitsubishi.
Been browsing the internet, trying to find out ways to really light the car up. Nothing ridiculous. A couple things I found are pretty exciting, interesting, things I hadn't thought of. Go ahead and break it down for you. The seat belt mechanisms. So, back seat's got 3 seat belts. Back seat never gets used. Eventually it's going to be a caged car anyways. So, seat belts are coming out. 3 seat belts with the hardware is about 10 pounds. Never would have thought of that. We've already got the speakers, the head unit. That was about 10 pounds for all that. Here's another 10 pounds. And then another 8 pounds that I didn't even think about. It's right here. Evap canister. So about 8 pounds to take off that. EGR's already been deleted on this car. It's kind of bulky. A lot of bracketry involved. So 8 pounds, which also, once that's out, kind of gives a nice flow to the back end even without the bumper, because the muffler's going to be gone too. That's going to be another 8 to 10 pounds just by taking that off. So with that number of things, we've got 10 pounds for the stereo, 10 pounds for seatbelt and seatbelt retractors, 8 pounds for evap canister, another 8 pounds for the muffler. It's really starting to add up. And if I take out the AC compressor, AC condenser, I wouldn't go into the dash. It's another 30 pounds alone for the compressor and condenser. Do I keep going? Because I can take out the passenger side airbag, which is not active anyways. It's another 8 pounds. So I feel like that's an excellent amount of weight to pull out of a car that's just been kind of hanging out on the car. So that's what we're gonna do. Go ahead and get after it. All right, guys, so we're in the back of the car. Already got the back seat out, bottom, top. Just a few bolts, kind of just slides out. We have to take this cover off, the velour cover, whatever, the formed cover. And you got the 3 belts. You got the actual buckles down here. And then underneath the back deck, you got these 3 collectors. Supposedly 10 pounds with all 3 of those out, and the hardware, some of the hardware is going to go back in, but back seat will still be there. I'll still have baby restraints for my kids, well, the one who's still a baby, but another 10 pounds out without really violating stripped interior rules. So little loopholes. All right, guys, so this is the evap canister removed. Big bulky thing. So what we have now, much cleaner. Much cleaner. It took up that whole space before. The line back to the intake manifold is just capped. Don't need it. Still got the the line coming from the fuel tank fill valve, and this is your solenoid. Still active, just all tucked up nice. Wire harness tied up, and this hole where this originally plugged in, I just flipped the breather, put a kind of a screen on it, so it's still dumping into the frame rail. I did fill it up last night. You get an extremely heavy fuel odor if you're near this while you're filling it up. It's not filtered, so you're just getting raw fuel odor. Just a much cleaner look. Okay, guys, next on the list, in order to shave some weight, Forgive the voice, I got it cold. Air conditioning. Up until now, it's been an AC car. But your compressor is down in here. Condenser in the front, of course. Fan attached to condenser on this side. So everything AC related for the most part is in this corner of the car, which is where you like to free weight up, so that whenever it transfers, there's less weight. You know, you want to put weight back there, so to say. But it's just weight off this corner of the car, which is beneficial, and maybe a little horsepower release. I don't think I'm going to go into taking the evap coil out under the dash. I'd like to be able to put this stuff back in a day's notice. It'll be back to an AC car after the race, but crucial weight, crucial placement, and I'm going to need all the help I can get because there's some heavy hitters coming. So that's next. Got to take the radiator out, drain the fluids, and bumper off. Compressor, hard lines, the actual fan for the condenser itself, 36 pounds. 36 pounds off the front right corner. We're here with Daniel Tiger from Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood. Turns out this muffler weighs a lot. Fuck. And it's got a goofy flange, so we're taking that off today. And we're gonna put a V-band in place. Right there, mid-pipe's already out. V-band in place. And this will be on the other end. So this will be the track setup. Just an axle dump, essentially.
As much as I do.
Well, that's not saying a lot, Daniel. Is that rubber? Leave that there. Yeah, that's Freedom Factory rubber.
It's worth some money.
It's expensive stuff, man.
Put it on eBay.
I'm pretty sure that's Hoosier rubber. Now, when I want exhaust work done, I take it to the local muffler shop where they're going to crimp bend everything and really kill your flow and actually just kind of bubble gum your welds. Or I take Time Slip Motorsports YouTube channel. I'll put the link in the video. Does all the cool stuff, man. You know, like drift cars, I guess that's what this is. But in all seriousness, you know, all your aluminum bends, stainless exhaust. A bunch of guys around here run hood dumps. I don't do that, but
Not yet.
not
yet.
No, stop. Bought a bunch of fabrication needs, turbo kits, intercooler piping, full exhaust systems, roll cage capability. I've actually seen them do, but it was like on the Honda Civic, it was like a full air dam, a weight plate. So for you guys that front wheel drive problems, I used to be there. But yeah, Time Slip Motorsports on YouTube. Give him a follow because he does great work. So essentially, final product is just going to be something like that. This is going to accomplish three things. Number one, lighter. Number two, flow. If you see inside these Japanese mufflers, they're actually like 2.5-inch cores. Ridiculous. The third thing is it's going to be loud and obnoxious. And if you try to launch a car next to me, you're not going to be able to hear your car or think straight. And that's part of the game, is just getting in your freaking head, man. I'm talking to you, Cletus. Got the proper PPE footwear, flame retardant pants and shirts. All right, moment of truth. The race exhaust is in place. First crank up. You ready to hear it?
Oh, yeah. So you blew the speaker out.
Hey, nobody's blowing anything around here. Next thing on our list, guys, pretty excited. Wasn't sure this was going to show up. Boosted fabrication. Tubular crossmember roll stop underneath the front of the car. It's going to save us 7.5 pounds over the factory unit. Factory one is heavy. So that's what this is replacing. It's got the motor mount built in. You know, more weight off the front of the car. All right, so here's the difference. For me, it ended up being about 6 pounds instead of 7.5 as advertised. Probably because I already had the billet mount as opposed to whatever was factory. But still, 6 pounds, it's weight, especially right over the front of the car. And a lot more room, you know, to reach your hand up in there and work on things if you have to. Finished product, you guys. Something so simple, but man, it frees up a whole lot of space to work on things. And we dropped weight. Just finished the install of the APR wing. GTC 200. The car had a 300 on it for a long time, which is a lot taller, a lot wider. I didn't feel like it needed all that. That's a ton of downforce. You don't get that fast at a circle track. You get up to 100, 110. So you're not going to take advantage of the huge wing. But this thing, I love the way it turned out. I had my reservations. I was nervous. I thought the factory Evo wing looked fine, but it doesn't really create downforce. It just kind of counteracts lift, if you understand. So like the teardrop top blade just kind of counteracted the lift. Didn't really apply much downforce. This one does. Like you said, to me, it turned out great. I mean, nice carbon fiber pedestals. It stays on the factory footprint, so no new holes. You actually have adjustment rods right there to, you know, change the pitch of the wing. I like the fact that it sits back on the trunk. They actually make risers for it that you can put in place to get a few more inches out of it. But great quality wing. I think it looks great. Not too overpowering. Import Image Racing got it to me for a great deal. So I think it's gonna stay on. I wasn't sure that I'd like it more than a weekend event, but kind of digging it. So I think it's gonna stay on. The wheels, guys, they're race wheels. Scrubbed the wall at the last event, knew I had to recoat them, and we went wild. If this doesn't give you giant RC car vibes, I don't know what does. Most people will hate it, some people will love it. I think it looks amazing. You won't miss me at the track, that's for sure. Ooh. They're so bright that they're probably screwing up the lens on the camera, to be honest, but turned out fantastic. So much RC car vibe. So our bumper showed up last night. It's rough draft, guys, rough draft. Still got a lot to do, but for today, yee. Well, guys, mixed emotions. It's been a crazy couple months getting this car dialed in for Spectator Drag Championships at the Freedom Factory. Unfortunately, they were canceled. Rightfully so. Terrible weather down here in Florida for that week. But prior to that, we had a Thursday track rental. A lot of the guys from up north were coming down, guys and girls, sorry. And we just had a great time. I say mixed emotions because this, you know, obviously I'm upset that the championships were canceled because, as it turns out, I had this car, I mean, just completely figured out this time around. You know, a few events back, car was pretty good the first time on the sticky tires. Car was pretty good. And then I got to making changes and it went backwards. The car was terrible and kind of defeating, you know. And knowing that I'm really the only one putting hands on this car, aside from, you know, I've got some contacts, so a little bit of fabrication, welding, stuff like that, stuff that I just don't do, and tuning, of course. But as far as like in and out changes from track day to track day, it's me and what I think, and a little advice from some other guys here and there. But you know, I'm not sending it to a shop. I'm not paying somebody big money to make me go fast in a circle. It's just me trying to figure it out. And man, this time to be the one turning the wrenches and turning the laps, and figuring it out and being one of the top contenders every event is really a very good feeling. So it was great that I got to get out there on a track rental and fill the car in what I feel like is pretty much its prime. I mean, it wasn't pushing corners, it wasn't sliding out, it wasn't bogging at the line. It was pretty much just a well-rounded, great performing car. And it was burning laps, and the tires, the wear pattern on the tires looks right. And you know, I did a lot of little suspension tweaks along with lightening the car up and releasing some horsepower between the AC and the exhaust. And but it was nice to be able to hang out with people and just talk, because the pressure was off. We knew that the event was canceled. We didn't have to get the car dialed in. And I say we by everybody. We didn't have to so much focus on being perfect. We were just going to go out there and have fun. And that was nice to just kind of have a nice day of turning laps, you know, cracking jokes with people, getting to know people. So that'll be the next video. This pretty much wraps up the video of the prep of what I was going to do, or what I did do to prepare for the big race. And I gotta tell you, I think if the big race happened, this was gonna be a top 3 car, in my opinion. It was just that good on that day. So can't wait till next season. You know, I think it's a contender at any track in the country at this point. So if you guys got tracks you want to see me come to, and you want to throw your fast cars at me, I'd be up for some traveling, because I think I pretty much got the car figured out. I kind of just want to leave it at that state and start traveling, start doing some cool things with it. So I appreciate you guys watching all my videos and making me feel like a part of something. And I hope to continue. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks, guys.